Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Makakadash, Barakatham. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles and the servants. Akim Akwef of the Lord Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Makakadash. This Brother Menashe DC Camp, short lesson for the hopeful elect. This is just another bitter lesson to constantly remind yourself about your journey in Babylon, man. You know, the obstacles of oppression that Esau has sown into society has a long and a lasting impact for generations. And you know what that means. It's a situation that has to be balanced out and flushed out. And the only way to get rid of that negative impact is through the word of the Lord. Hamashiach Yahushai. That's why the Lord gave us these scriptures, to be able to combat and absorb the shock of Esau's destructive rampage. All right. So this lesson is just going to go into the medical profession of how the elites of Esau were able to corner it in such a way that Jakes were able to be eliminated from moving up, you know, how would I say that, academically, also in the field of medicine, you know. And yeah, you know, if you get a chance, look up the Flexner report. I'll pull up the image on the screen. The Flexner report, I believe it came out in 1910. So I'm going to read this real quick from the book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 1 and 2. It says, "Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord had created him." So the skill to become a physician is from the Lord. Every gift is from the Lord. But what does the elite of Esau want to do? They want to corner that gift, just like they want to corner the gospel, and bend it into their influence, into that sphere of influence. And that's what the elites of Esau did, man. You know, they destroyed the livelihoods of a lot of Jakes, all right? Not just the southern kingdom, Judah, but also the northern kingdom too, all right? Yeah. So it just shows you that you know, actions have consequences, and that's a result of what we have to deal today. When you have the women of our nation, they go to the medical facility, and then you still have you know, complaints about infant mortality, you know, poor health care when it comes to our people with the Esau system. And that also flows into the health insurance industry too. Yeah, because the same people that are pulling the plugs on the medical end also pulling the plugs on the insurance end too, and with other industries too. So it just shows you that you know, we're going through a sad part of history upon the face of the earth. And when Esau is allowed, you know, to be the face of that sadness, the face of that oppression, you know, the face of destruction, it only takes the righteousness of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai to eliminate that from off the face of the earth. And you know, a lot of people are waking up to it. You know, that's a reason why Esau wants to get rid of all this access to information, especially the knowledge of the scriptures. So Sirach chapter 38 verse 1, "Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord had created him." So when Esau put stumbling blocks in the paths of physicians, in the paths of nurses, in the paths of folks that practice holistic medicine, you know, folks that come up with a revolutionary solution to improve people's health, it becomes a problem. If you're curing the so-called commercial, commercial ailment called cancer, because cancer is basically one of those terms that Esau has already patented, you know, to yeah, to control, the people that are interested in making life better, making people's living standards better. Is a problem. You have doctors with all types of cures to make people's lives manageable, but it's a problem. Even with agriculture too, it's a problem. It's always a GMO this, GMO that, pesticide this, pesticide that. Yeah, so it just shows you that Esau is on a killing spree, man. Let me not say killing spree, but a, a self-destructive spree, man. He doesn't want no life on the earth to go according to the pattern the Lord wants it to go in righteousness. He wants to corrupt everything. All right. And then it says in verse 2, for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the kings. When a physician is not allowed to show forth his skill, his abilities the Lord has blessed him with, that's basically coming against the Lord. When the Lord gives a person talent and the person is doing their best to put that talent to good use, and then you see the enemy just attacking, what do you think the Lord is going to do at the end, man? The Lord has to take action, and that's the reason why, Esau's kingdom has to fall. The Lord has to tear apart, the infrastructure of his enemies that's inhibiting the blessings, the skills from being flowing, man. Just like the scripture says, force not the course of the river, and also the scripture also says that you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, So when Esau comes against the talent that he's given to the people across the face of the earth, not just to Jakes only, but to the heathen too, when the elite of Esau start to meddle with it, man, that makes the Lord furious, man. And what do you think the Lord's going to do? He has to orchestrate a situation where the enemy has to fall into their own scheme, all right? When they say a spider, doesn't get stuck in his web, hey, it comes a time when there's always going to be a situation, man, where the web becomes a problem for the spider. And the situation is coming very soon, man. Because when Esau is weaving his traps to prevent the people from progressing, eventually, he becomes his own worst enemy. So we're going to get a scripture from the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16. And I'm going to read verse 12. It says, this is the most important thing to remember. Okay? So it says, Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 12, for it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. Okay? So when you have an enemy coming against the word of the Lord, coming against the knowledge of the herbs, oh boy, it's not a joke, man. It's not a joke. It's not a joke to ignore and take lightly. It comes with a consequence. All right, it comes with a consequence, and that the price he's gonna pay is gonna be hefty. All right, it's gonna be a hefty price. When the scripture talks about Esau maintaining his anger, his wrath forever, his jealousy forever, hey, it goes well in line, man. Never seen so much hatred for progress in my life, man. Exhibited by Esau, man, the so-called white man. I've never seen such a thing in my life. All these inventors, man, across the world that come up with valuable technology, all of a sudden it's a problem for the elites. It just shows you that this is not a world wherein righteousness is uplifted, man. It's always about oppression and malignment, okay? And you could, go through documentaries and read up on stories, man, about how the elites of Esau always like to connive and interfere with the progress of the people. So this is the report that was released over a century ago, and this is what the elites, put their resources into, man. So this was before before they started pushing the Federal Reserve, before they put it on the map. So you could see this, man. So medical education in the United States and Canada. So when you have Jakes that are in the medical profession complain about discrimination, you could always go back and look at this report. So it has the name of the Carnegie family in it. The Rockefeller are also part of it too. They had their hands in it too, as well as the American Medical Association, and they've been trying their best to keep this under wraps. But people keep digging it up, man. When you see the poor treatment that our people get in the medical system overall, it just shows you that Esau's image of self-destruction, man. He wants to project it onto our people and then blame our people for not being achievers. And that's a situation that the prophets of the Lord have always been addressing. And it's through the gospel of the Lord that we're able to stand firm and understand what we're up against. All right. Yeah. So if you just look at this is the Flexner report. All right. You can pull it up. I'll play some audio for you just to show you exactly how messed up it is, man. So I'm going to find some audio to play. Not the whole thing, but just some of it, all right?
Black women's bodies of other people of color and those who have been historically marginalized are still not fully valued. And that's really what our data and evidence is really showing up. If we look at the COVID-19 pandemic, the data is really telling us that we're not valuing all lives the same way. Everybody doesn't have the power or the resources or the conditions in order to achieve optimal health. And that still is pervasive through our healthcare and our medical system. And so we really wanted to make sure that we were very explicit about that in this report, that we did, tiptoe around the edges, as I kind of say sometimes do soft equity work. But we really named, the root causes of oppression in this country, and really even speaking to and starting to name the impacts of colonization as well as capitalism as just an introduction.
Yeah, so that audio you just heard is just from the PBS. It talks about the importance of knowing how the American Medical Association's racist history has affected our people, man. Not just our people, but for the heathen also, man. You have a lot of talented medical professionals that cannot do their work because of the industry has been captured by the greed and the elites. For them to stay in power, they have to undermine the progress of the people, so they have to put their gatekeepers in positions of authority. And when you have students that go to medical school tell you something that they observed and something they experienced, and then you go do your homework, you do your research, and you figure out that this stuff is not an isolated incident, Then you start to put two and two together, and then you have a pattern of shady dealings, man. A pattern of shady dealings, all right? And then you have racial discrimination within the medical system among the, the professionals, you know. And then you also have the misdiagnosis, you have the financial greed, you have the medical neglect. So it just compounds and compounds and compounds. That's why, Scripture talks about this in Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It will destroy you even with the sword destruction. Alright, so what's the use of getting healed today, but then you still have to deal with the demise down the road? It's like you win one battle and then you still have to fight 10 more battles, 15 more battles. Always got to fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. Every day you got to keep on fighting, man. So it wears down on your mind, man, when you got to fight every single day, to keep your mind intact. Fight that, the food that you're eating doesn't destroy your mind, doesn't destroy your body. You have that situation, man. You had this Edomite guy, I saw him on a video I was watching this morning, said that, you have some French teachers, that come to this country to feed the bodies in order. They eat the same food that they were eating over there in their country. All of a sudden, they start gaining weight. They start getting all type of situations. But when they go back to their country eating the same food, all of a sudden, the weight comes off. So it shows you that there's something going on, man, with the food supply, man. That was his conclusion, man. There's something going on with the food supply that's causing folks to have health problems, man. So it just proves to you that, hey, the world is not a stable place, man. The hands of oppression are like in everybody's pocket, man. Even trying to get into the pockets of the scriptures. So you gotta be spiritually prepared, man, to deal with the attacks, for upholding your heritage as an Israelite. All right. So I'll play this audio clip some more.
And as you can imagine, many of these terms are new to people in the healthcare profession and make people very uncomfortable. And so, we're trying to find ways to bring folks along while at the same time, being very direct and instructive that this is where we really need to go if we really, really are committed to advancing equity and really committed to racial justice work in healthcare.
There's also this idea that there were physicians of colors that were excluded. There was also the closing of those medical schools catering specifically to Black people and women. How is that showing up in
And that point that she raised is not it's not a lie, man. Because what Esau did back then in 1910 and around that period, he destroyed a lot of opportunities for Jakes, man. He destroyed a lot of opportunity for Jakes. Yeah, till this day, those families of those people that got shut out of the profession, who knows what type of livelihood they have now or what they missed out on. Even when you talk about the GI Bill, man, what Esau did with that. So it just shows you, man, it's not as if, you're going to be harping on discrimination. This is facts, this is history. You're not go looking for things that do not exist. These are things that happen. The document, this is the title page of a document. You could go look it up. It will make you furious, but at the same time, you don't want to lose sight of what the Most High brought us here to Babylon to do. The Lord didn't take that title of slavery off of us. We still have to serve our captivity Our captivity is not over yet, man. We're still in the land of our captivity. We're still in the hands of our captors. And what we're doing is we are attaching our mind through the grace of the Lord Mashiach Yahushai to our heritage, to our resting place, which is the words of the Lord. So now we go to this precept real quick, man. These are valuable words, man. When you look at Deuteronomy chapter 24 and read verse 14, you see what it tells you. It says what? Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. So you see, so those are words of wisdom the Lord gave to us as Israelites, man. Any employee that you have, servant that you have within your jurisdiction, you have no business oppressing them, man. You have no business laying stumbling blocks in their path. You see that? Whether they're jakes or heathen, you are not permitted to do that. So that shows you how balanced the Lord is, man. And there's a judgment for violating this commandment. That's a commandment of the Lord. So if the Lord is going to punish us for violating this law, statutes, and commandments, what do you think he's going to do to Esau, man? You know, that has done much more worse. So it's going to be beautiful, man, to see the faithfulness of the Lord. Because the Lord is not a power to play around with, man. He's not a power to ignore. It's not a power to joke around and think that he's just there without, the wherewithal to bring his judgment, his wrath to pass. So, hey, it's coming, man. It's coming. So just stay out of the way. When the Lord's bringing the judgment upon Esau, man, as an Israelite, you better stay out of the way, man. So only advice I can tell you, man, you have no business trying to save the so-called oppressor when his judgment is coming. It doesn't matter what oppression, profession you're in. When the Lord has zeroed in on Esau, and the Lord is coming after the elites, you better stay out of the way, man. That's all I got to tell you, man. So, just a word of advice to our people, man. Just move on from around them. Because when the Lord brings the judgment, you don't want to be the so-called front line of defense, man. Just call out. Call out on the plantation that day, man. Go do a lesson. Yeah, go do a lesson, man. Go study up. Go do a walk and talk. All right. So, First Peter chapter 3, verse 10. So, this is word of advice for us. First Peter 3 and 10. For he that love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. And that report shows lots of evil intent, man. The more you dig into exactly what Esau did, as per preventing the upward mobility of our people, man, it just makes you so sad and upset, man. Like, god damn, that you gotta deal with this for centuries, man. And it just shows you that Esau cannot contend. He cannot compete with the blessings of the Lord, man. That's just one thing that you've noticed, man. And when you see people from all these third world country, man, making special things out of junk and garbage, man, it just shows you that there's no excuse, to doubt the inspiration of the Lord. But when the Lord gives you that inspiration, man, there's nothing that can prevent you from checking out that idea, man. There's nothing that can prevent you from experimenting with that idea to see if it is true or not, and that's a good thing. So when you have Esau always putting forth legislation and reports and policies to negatively impact our people, it becomes a situation. It's extra trauma, that extra burden that we have to bear on our souls on a daily basis, man. That's why the Lord said that the soul of the just complaineth continually before Him day and night. You know, Ecclesiastes 7:7, oppression maketh a wise man mad. Yeah, you have jakes that are in these professions, man. They're just tired of all the microaggression. They're tired of all the deception. They're tired of the discrimination. They're tired of all the ridicule. It just shows you that Esau, man, he's just on a spree, on a self-destructing spree, man. You know, like someone that doesn't have his bearings together runs out of the psych ward, and all of a sudden he's a threat to all the people in the neighborhood. That's basically Esau for you, man. So it's only a matter of time that the Lord would have to put Esau back in check, put him back in the straitjacket, right? And that is captivity, that's slavery, okay, in the kingdom. So 1 Peter 3:11 says, let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. That's a word of advice for us, man. When you're doing good to the brotherhood, that's a pattern that Allah wants us to cultivate, to build upon, and to make sure that we stick with the plan. Those are words of advice that we have to build upon on a daily basis. So, not to make this lesson too long, I'm going to go to the book of Sirach, chapter 14, and verse 5. What does it say? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? All right? To whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. That's why all the riches that they've accumulated and amassed over the years, they always try to pretend as if they're doing people good by becoming philanthropists, setting up foundation, giving the people funds, but the real destruction that they've visited upon society is nothing compared to the the pittance, the tiny pittance that they're paying out in funding of different donations and charities and all that stuff, man. The damage that they've caused is far more, is of a more monetary, psychological, and a spiritual value than what they're paying, all right, to all these foundations and charities and donations, man.
Day diversity issues in medicine.
There's just a tremendous still lack of diversity of having Black physicians and really Latinx physicians, as well as Native American physicians, who've been completely excluded still from the medical profession. We are the ones as AMA who commissioned Abraham Flexner. We valued this model of significant scientific rigor and really evaluated schools across the country in the early 1900s and said, if you didn't have that, if you didn't have those types of resources, we didn't think you were a good enough school to stay open, basically. And so that impacted, as you can imagine, many Black med schools that aren't going to be resourced. And so 5 were recommended to shut down. And in addition, the part that really, I think, really speaks.
And then they do it with funding for universities, Black universities, man. I remember that HBCUs had a situation where Esau was basically using the government as a shield to prevent proper funding of predominantly Black, use the word Black, but Jake universities, man. So it shows you that Esau has a hand to play in the demise and the downfall of our people. So when you see Jake just committing crimes, you could tell that Esau really pushed him so hard, that he just snapped and gave up and became a statistic, man. Now, when you look at the so-called music industry, man, it's basically a reflection of what Esau wants our people, to be concerned with, man, concerned about irrelevant achievements, man, irrelevant endeavors. Yeah, Esau wants our people to be self-destructive, and that's why the so-called music industry is a mess. Violence and drugs and denigration of family values. So you understand what is going on, man. When you understand the situation you had to live through as a child, and then you understand why the Lord had to prepare a way for you to be delivered. You find yourself to be appreciative, and Esau hates that, man. Esau hates to see our people return to their heritage. That's why now, he has to come up with the term of hate group, hate speech, domestic terrorist. Yeah, so when the so-called constitution is no longer, something he wants to hold himself accountable to, then the people realize they're dealing with a false, a falsehood, man. Government pretending to be about the people, but they're not about the people. When you have an abuse of the so-called criminal justice system, abuse of the legislative process, do they think people will have faith in the government? And you have people that are so hooked in to this voting process, man. They just get disillusioned, man. They just get tired of protesting and voting, voting and protesting and going to the plantation. It's like a never-ending cycle, for a hamster, you know. Voting to the plantation and protesting, man. That's all it is, man. That's what they want the people to be focused on, man. Be a zombie, they protest and then they get some crumbs. And then they go back to the plantation, then they go back to voting, and they get some crumbs again, and they go back to the plantation. It's like bim, bam, boom. So it just shows you that Esau society is not suitable to sustain a healthy habit, a healthy lifestyle. That's why the Lord has to tear apart this infrastructure of falsehood, man. The Lord had to tear down the stronghold of madness, man. All right. So, yeah, just a few more precepts and wrap it up. Head up to the, to the Mazabak. So, First Thessalonians chapter 5 and 22. This is what it says: abstain from all appearance of evil. And that's just what it is. That's advice for the man of the Lord. And when Esau knows that he's harming people, he's using his power of monopoly and monopsony upon the people, and the people react a certain way, all of a sudden they get put on the watch list and they get branded as agitators and all that stuff, man. So yeah, when you want to do something right and you get a pushback, you have resistance. It shows you that something is going on somewhere that doesn't want positive results, man. And you see that a lot, man, with the criminal justice system, when people are trying to enforce positive change, and then you have misguided and deceptive arguments. It just shows you that something is wrong, man. Something is wrong with the system. And when the system is falling apart, all of a sudden you have all these legislators complaining about TikTok. When people are communicating with each other, all of a sudden it's a problem. Yeah, so you just have to learn to accept the downfall of Esau. It's just what it is, man. The Lord has to tear it down. That's the reason why people are communicating with apps. So, you learn a lot, man. You learn a lot from the uprising of the enemy and then to its downfall. Whenever there's a tragic circumstance, there's always something to learn from it. And that's what we're seeing, man. If something negative doesn't happen, you can't really tell who your enemies are. All right? There has to be a situation where the Lord has to reveal your enemies before the whole world. And is that clear? There is no other way. Even when you have a positive experience, man, the Lord still allows you to see who your enemies are when you're making progress. So on both ends, man, whether it's a negative experience or a positive experience, the Lord is still going to reveal who your enemies are to you. Yeah, so that's just what it is, man. When you see someone that's always pretending to have your interests at heart, and then all of a sudden they conspire against you, it just shows you that the word of the Lord is true, man. You have to be circumspect so you do not fall into the wiles of the devil. The scripture also tells you never trust that enemy. All right. So Proverbs chapter 26 verse 27, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. And that's what's happening to the elites of Esau now, man. They're slipping into that darkness that they've been trying to push the people into. All right. And that they are upset, they are afraid that their power is waning. And he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. So when they did all this maligning of the people's lives, man, especially with this CHAP-19, oh my God, man, a lot of people lost their livelihoods, man. Lost their lives based on the lie, based on the attacks. When the environment gets poisoned, that's what happens, man. People lose their livelihoods, they lose their lives. You have children committing suicide, all because of the so-called rich man wants more power. Yeah, so sooner or later they'll have to answer for it. It's that clear. And you just have to be prayerful, man, that the Lord, keeps you safe, man, because a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are heartbroken because of the demise of their family members, man, for going hook, line, and sinker with the falsehoods, all right? So it's in the Lord's hands, man, to bring forth judgment, okay? Yeah. And then verse 28 says, a lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it, and the flattering mouth worketh ruin. So you're going to see exactly the results of Esau coming against the word of the Lord, man. You're going to see how the Lord would take care of that situation. All right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, you're going to see the standard of the Lord being exhibited, man. You're going to see a powerful exhibition of righteousness in that day, man. All these tyrants running around just, unaliving people, they know their time is coming, man. And they see the signs, so what is there? What is there for them, to run away from? They have to deal with the consequences of their action. And that's just what it is. They've joined hands with the wicked of society to oppress the people. So it's only a matter of time that they get their own just desserts. All right. So we go to the book of Job. It's just interesting dynamic, man, when you see the Lord begin to wake up the minds of the people to prepare themselves for the transition of power from darkness into light, from the hand of Edom into the hand of Yasharal, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, through the power of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai, Hashem Kadash, Job chapter 20 verse 7, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. And that's the judgment of the elites, man. It doesn't matter if they're the Rockefellers or Carnegie's, they have a debt to pay. They have a debt to pay. They owe the Lord so much, man, that all their wealth cannot pay for the ransom. All right, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Yeah. So when you think about the genocide taking place over there in Palestine, it's for a reason. It's a preparation for Esau's genocide. That's what it is, man. The Lord uses one genocide to prepare for another genocide. And that's just what it is. The Lord has to set up the stage. He has to set up the roadmap for Esau to be eradicated from off the face of the earth. And that's one thing a lot of historians don't want to talk about, man. They don't want to talk about the facts of the truth. The preachers and the churches don't want to talk about it. But the man of the Lord would say it, man. One genocide will lead to another genocide of another people. So the oppressor pushing this genocide upon the children of Ishmael, they're going to have to deal with it. When Edom is pushing for genocide, he has totally forgotten, man. There's certain things that you do not do. As a person with some serious level of wisdom. Yeah, they've forgotten the story of Hagar and Ishmael in the wilderness, man, of how the angel showed up. So expect some things to come around very soon, all right? Then verse 8 says, he shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Yeah, so just remember that, man. Whatever is causing the so-called Ishmaelites to be crying and be yelling and screaming, the Lord is going to take that away very soon, man. And that is Edom, the Edomites, man. The Amalekites. They're going to be taken away, They're going to be taken away, just like people, the Israelites are complaining about oppression out of the hands of Esau. The Lord has to hear the cry, The Lord has to hear the cries of his people, the Israelites. So that's the point there, Akim. It's a bitter lesson to deal with, man. It's just one of those things you have to accept and continue to pay attention, man, because it's going to be brutal for Esau in these last days, man. When the Lord begins to make his moves upon Edom, that's it, man. Just stay out of the way. The Lord is about fixing things. So let me play some more about this audio.
The impact. At that time, AMA was also excluding black physicians. And so back then, in order to get licensed to hospitals, you actually had to be a member of the medical society within your local community, which was an AMA or American Medical Association affiliate. So if you couldn't gain membership to an AMA medical affiliate, you couldn't gain a license to work at the local hospital. So now you have black physicians who also can't find hospitals to work at, which impacts then our communities. We have to take a look at that entirety of the history and its impacts.
There are some who look at this report and say it lacks teeth, timelines, and targets. What concretely does the AMA plan to do, given now the history that is known?
When people say it lacks teeth and targets and clarity, I'm very close to it. And we've spent a lot of time. We've spent over a year and a half working together to pull this report together. And when you look at healthcare and how far they have not gone as it relates to talking about equity and injustice and using terms such as racism and white supremacy and capitalism, you don't see that in healthcare. And so we really, again, wanted to make sure that this report did go far enough, but we're going to need to have many types of partners in order to help propel this forward. And then more importantly, I think most importantly, is the accountability piece. And I think that's the part where I do accept definitely, criticism or just push.
And that's a problem that will be addressed very soon. Just like those Edomite families were upset about the sacklers, the pushers of those opiate drugs, folks behind the opiate epidemic, and then you have the so-called attorney generals, so-called prosecutors, working a deal with, working a deal on behalf of the so-called elites, man. It just shows you, man, it's a problem, and people don't forget, man. A lot of folks are broken-hearted, man, with this so-called justice system, man. It's a mess, all right? When the big pharma is allowed to just operate and not face the real consequences, there's nothing to discuss with the people. And when the people do not get justice in the courts, they will get it on the streets. And it's always been that way, It's always been that way. It's across the whole earth. When you do not get justice, when you're denied justice in the courtroom, in the courthouse, by the system, it's only a matter of time that people will take matters into their own hands, all right? So that's the frustration that a lot of people are going to have to face and deal with in these last days, man. People do not forget. Always remember that. People do not forget. Whether it's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when they see you, they see you. And that's about it, man. So, the media can try to shadow ban the people's concerns and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, justice will be served. That's how the Lord operates, man. So things has to balance out, man. It's just how the laws of life are. The laws of life, the laws of this life, it has to balance out. That's just what it is. The Lord is a power of perfect balance, so he has to balance things out. So that's the point there, Akim. Barataza, you've been edified and inspired to look into this Flexner report, man. It's horrible, man. That's why Jake is suffering so hard in this society. The elites have destroyed the livelihoods of a lot of people, and they're still doing it today intentionally. The book of Sirach tells about your enemy, man. Though he humbled himself, he's still going to come back and still attack and attack and attack and attack and attack, man. Pretend as if, he learned the lesson, he wouldn't do it no more, but then he's still doing it again, still continue. So there is no reasoning, the Lord has to tear it down, man. The Lord has to tear it down. So that's the end of this lesson of Baratazar. Upload another one by Shimi Abishai, by Shimi Lakadash, with the approval of Yahweh Shalom.